In a summer already brimming with hidden alliances, cross-continental chases, and emotional implosions, General Hospital is preparing to explode with a storyline that merges the high-stakes danger of the WSB with deeply personal betrayals back in Port Charles. At the center of it all is Jason, torn between his loyalty to Anna, the haunting memory of Britt, and the unspoken obligation to protect Carly's daughter, Jocelyn. As secrets begin to bleed into one another, lines blur between personal motives and global operations. The mystery in Croatia isn't just about Britt's location anymore. It's about the escalating domino effect her absence has unleashed, pulling in operatives, mothers, lovers, and enemies alike into a vortex of peril and truth that no one is prepared to face. Anna has always carried the weight of the agency on her shoulders, but this time, her guilt is palpable. It's not just that she authorized a dangerous mission, it's that she may have knowingly allowed Jocelyn to walk into the same hornet's nest where Britt may already be trapped. The resort in Dalmatia, known to WSB insiders as the Five Poppies, is more than just a luxury destination. It's a facade, beautiful on the surface but infested with espionage, rogue agents, and experimental silence. And now Jocelyn, still new to the shadows of covert life, is walking straight into its jaws. Anna, ever the strategist, may no longer be in full control of the board. She fears Jack Brennan is using Jocelyn not just as a field operative, but as leverage. Jason has tried to respect boundaries, to honor the wishes Britt may have once whispered to him in a moment of vulnerability. But when Anna shows up with concern in her eyes and a file in her hand, Jason realizes that love and loyalty often come into direct conflict. In that moment, he doesn't need the full truth. He sees enough to understand that Jocelyn is walking into danger, and if she's doing it under Brennan's command, then Jason has every reason to believe this is personal. He begins planning for Croatia. Not as a soldier, but as someone who needs to know why Britt disappeared, and whether this disappearance is connected to the girl he once helped raise. Anna debates whether to tell him the whole truth. That Joss is WSB now, that she's Brennan's pawn, and that Jason may be walking into a trap baited with memories and misdirection. Meanwhile, in Port Charles, Drew is restless. His instincts pull him toward Elizabeth, not out of romance, but suspicion. Something about her recent closeness to Curtis doesn't sit right with him. Curtis, once the anchor of integrity, seems to be playing both sides of a delicate game. Drew suspects Curtis knows more about Britt's last known location than he let on, and that he may have worked with Brennan during the wedding to cover something up. Whether this is connected to the broader WSB operations or simply personal discretion remains unclear. Elizabeth, caught between her concern for Britt and her uncertainty about Drew, walks a fine line, offering answers without ever revealing the full picture. Back across the ocean, Britt's isolation grows more suffocating. She's not a prisoner in the traditional sense, there are no visible chains, no barred windows, but her confinement is real, nonetheless. Under heavy surveillance, every attempt she makes to contact the outside world is intercepted. Her refusal to comply with the behavioral demands of her superior has earned her punishment in subtle but chilling ways, withheld medications, misinformation, and psychological games that blur the line between control and cruelty. She suspects Brennan is behind it all, but she can't be sure. There are too many players, too many masks. Her instincts scream that someone she once trusted is orchestrating this, perhaps even Jason. Her mind tells her to wait, to survive, but her heart urges her to escape. So, she tries. And when she does, the trap snaps shut. As Jason arrives in Croatia, dressed not for war but for deception, he finds himself among diplomats, tech moguls, and wealthy tourists oblivious to the covert world swirling beneath the marble floors and five-star cocktails. His eyes scan the resort, searching for clues of Britt's presence, but it's Jocelyn's voice he hears first, engaged in coded conversation with Vaughn near the terrace. She doesn't notice him yet, and Jason stays in the shadows, conflicted. He sees in her posture the exact precision of a field operative. She's not just visiting. She's working. And he realizes, painfully, that Anna must have known all along. Carly, back in Port Charles, senses something is off. Her maternal instincts don't miss much. She's tried to trust Jocelyn's independence, but the cryptic nature of her recent messages, the hollow reassurances, and Anna's evasiveness all point to something bigger. She reaches out to Brennan directly, hoping to demand answers, but Brennan, ever the master manipulator, deflects with charm. He hints at a confidential WSB operation and assures her that Jocelyn is safer than ever. Carly doesn't buy it. She starts making her own inquiries, reaching out to past connections, including Britt, who might help her track Jason's movement. She's determined not to be blindsided again. Not by Jason, not by Anna, and certainly not by Brennan. Back home, Lulu and Dante are locked in a heated debate. Their disagreement centers around Rocco, who has started asking questions about Liesl Albrecht. A letter addressed to him and signed but obviously from Liesl, suggests that she may know more about Britt's fate than she's letting on. Dante believes it's too dangerous to involve Rocco, but Lulu sees it differently. She thinks it's time for Rocco to understand his family's entanglements in the greater world. Their argument reopens old wounds. About trust, about honesty, and about the cost of shielding a child from truth. Meanwhile, Rick and Ava's relationship disintegrates under the weight of greed and betrayal. Ava, long tired of Rick's emotional instability, cuts off his financial lifeline. Rick retaliates by accusing her of still being emotionally tied to her past with Morgan and even suggests that her feelings for Jason never truly faded. Ava, furious, calls his bluff, but the damage is done. Rick finds himself cornered and humiliated, which is when Cody Bell appears. The $10,000 in his possession isn't just for information, it's for influence. He's been hired to either neutralize Rick or push Ava back into alignment with a broader plan, the details of which remain frustratingly unclear. Cody's motivations are murky, but his interest in Ava is suddenly very strategic. As the week rolls on, Jason's quiet investigation through the 5 poppies unearths more questions than answers. He sees Vaughn slipping into a secure wing of the resort, alone, at odd hours. He witnesses Jocelyn interacting with known WSB informants under assumed names. And then there's the name that keeps surfacing on surveillance chatter, Britt. But no one seems to know where she is. Jason suspects she's nearby but hidden, moved just before he arrived. He retraces old messages, reviews Anna's intel, and finally makes a decision that could cost him everything. He breaks into the resort's internal server, searching for records, real-time access, and perhaps a camera feed that will confirm whether Britt is still alive. But as he decrypts the files, Jason makes a shocking discovery: there's someone else watching the same feed. A rival agent, unknown but fast, begins tracing his signal. Jason has minutes to escape, but not before he sees a flickering image on a screen. It's Britt, weak, pale, reaching toward the lens before the feed cuts out. She's alive. Now the stakes are undeniable. He can't leave Croatia without her. He can't abandon Jocelyn, who's dangerously entangled in a mission she's not ready to complete. And he can't return to Port Charles empty-handed, not when the people he loves are in deeper danger than ever before. The race is on, and Jason's role is no longer that of a silent observer. It's personal. It's war. And back in Port Charles, where the lies begin to unravel, everyone, from Anna to Carly to Rick to Cody, is about to find out that no secret stays buried for long. Especially not when Jason Morgan is on the hunt.